Wintry weather in December is not unheard of, but the weather this weekend is expected to be serious enough to cause significant disruption across parts of the UK. Weather warnings are in force for wind, for rain, for snow and for something that is relatively rare in the UK, widespread ice as a result of freezing rain. What's going on? Well, at the time of recording, cold air covers the UK. That's been brought in from the continent by an easterly breeze during the last few days. That cold air has been rotating around an area of high pressure over Scandinavia, and the high pressure to the east and the cold air have been keeping Atlantic weather systems at bay. But through Friday night, the jet stream will build enough oomph to deliver these weather systems to the UK. And as low pressure moves in against high, the isobars will tighten and the winds will strengthen across the UK. The rain will set in as well from the word go this weekend, and for Northern Ireland, for South Wales and the southwest of England, it's rain and wind that is of most concern. An inch or two of rain in some of the wetter spots, and coastal gales could lead to some tricky conditions out there on Saturday and a thoroughly miserable day. The winds will also strengthen across the far north of Scotland, 50, 60, perhaps 70 mile-per-hour wind gusts for the Northern Isles and for parts of Caithness. Now, those winds are coming up against cold air, but they are also bringing in milder air, and for the southwest of England as well as for parts of South Wales, temperatures will be rising as we start off the weekend. 12 degrees in the southwest, 5 or 6 elsewhere. But the cold air remains further north and east, temperatures barely above freezing. However, if we look higher in the sky at 5,000 feet, well, you can see that the mild Atlantic air has made more of a push northwards. And for the central belt southwards, these greens indicate a mild slice of air around about 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. That means that any snow falling through that mild slice could, well, melt. And that means that for those areas where we've still got cold air at the surface, we can expect a range of wintry hazards as we go through Saturday afternoon and evening. As that rain bumps into the cold air, there is the risk from mid-Wales, the Midlands, East Anglia northwards of ice and of snow in some areas. Not everyone will be affected. Some lower-lying parts of Wales, the Midlands and East Anglia will just have a wet day. But in some spots there is the risk of ice and there is the risk of snow. Yellow warnings in force, but for parts of Scotland, north of the central belt, over higher ground, there's the risk of more significant snowfall. And that will be combined with strengthening winds, blizzards, drifting as well. Deep snow combined with blizzard conditions over the hills will lead to some very tricky conditions, very difficult out there on Saturday afternoon and overnight on Saturday night. Now, an amber warning is in force for this part of central Scotland, and it's here where we expect widely 5 to 10 centimetres of snowfall, 20 to 40 centimetres over the hills. So if you're in this area, certainly worth staying in touch with the forecast during Friday night and into Saturday, because there is the risk of heavy snow and blizzards, transport disruption as well as power cuts, and there's the risk that in this area rural communities could be cut off. Now, further south across the central belt southwards, there is a risk of a mixture of wintry hazards through Saturday afternoon and into the evening. Here you can see the cold air remains, but we've got an area of heavy rain moving up against it. And as that rain bumps into the cold air, there's the risk of, yes, there could be some snow over the tops of the mountains, but the main risk for the central belt southwards is of rain falling onto frozen surfaces. Freezing rain leading to widespread ice. Now, it's because of this risk across central and southern parts of Scotland, as well as northern parts of England in particular, that we have an amber warning for ice. Now, freezing rain is rare in this country. It's on a widespread scale, at least. It's more common in the USA and Canada. It looks like this often. As a result of an ice storm, you get an icy glaze over the trees, over the power lines, bringing them down sometimes and leading to treacherous conditions on roads and pavements. But it can sometimes look as innocuous as this, just a wet day outside, nothing particularly wintry looking. However, hidden amongst the puddles you might find areas of black ice. And so freezing rain can be very risky. Dangerous icy surfaces, black ice hiding those hazards, and very risky for pedestrians, for cyclists and for transport. And some of the routes affected, such as the M6, M62, M74, some busy routes, during a busy period of traffic on Saturday afternoon and into the evening could be affected. Power cuts may also occur. So a real risk of serious impacts from the weather this weekend. Certainly worth keeping in touch with the forecast and staying in touch with the weather warnings right here at the Met Office.